I said I'd do the best I could. So we'll see how that goes. I'm nobody special. I'm not elected. I'm just kind of a normal fellow. Unfortunately, the fact that I am no one special kind of makes me the perfect guy to do this. No one can fire me. No one can boycott my business. I'm a farmer. I'm self-employed. So I'm not going to be fired. I'm not going to be boycotted. I'm not going to be ostracized. I don't run in a lot of social circles, so people can ostracize me. That's fine. So I'm in a position where I can do this, and that's why I'm doing it. So I'm not a professional. Bear with me. I beg your patience. I'm certainly not the best at this. Considering all those things, I'm nervous. So forgive me for that. We're going to try to be respectful of your time. Obviously, this is an informal meeting of concerned citizens about the bond, an upcoming bond vote. What are those concerns? What can we do about it? I want the truth. I want to know some stuff. I'm not an expert, but I will tell you, I will do the very best I can to be completely honest and truthful. I want the truth, and I want the truth out there. I will not, in any way, try to mislead you. I'm going to be as honest as I possibly can. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. I'm just up here trying to, some folks wanted a meeting. I offered it to the superintendent. He declined, and that shouldn't keep us from having a meeting and kind of organizing some thoughts. So I am a prayer. I'm a God-fearing man, so I'm going to open in a word of prayer. If you're not a prayer, that's fine. That's between you and God. But I pray, so if you would, be so kind. Be respectful of those around you. But if you would, you're welcome to join me in a word of prayer. Precious Heavenly Father, I do humbly present myself to you to do your will and good pleasure. We all find ourselves here in this room tonight. We're discussing what can be a pretty heated topic within our district. I don't think anybody's absolutely malicious, but we certainly disagree amongst ourselves within our community. And I think even here tonight we'd all be very well if you'd be present with us. I'd pray for a generous portion of your Spirit to guide us. I'd ask that you'd receive glory in what goes on here tonight, at least in what I do. I am far from perfect, Lord, and I know you know that. I don't know exactly how you might be able to find glory in this, but I hope and I seek it for you. And I am certainly your servant, and I hope you can use me in spite of how imperfect I am. I do try to be your steward. I hope I manage what you entrust to me well. You said, Christ said, to render to Caesar what is due Caesar. And there's a bunch of us here that's just trying to figure out what exactly is Caesar due. And of course, Caesar's the government. And I don't think it's out of line for us to ask that question. I suppose Caesar would take everything if we gave it to him. Such as we can, we ought to be responsible for what you've given us. And I think there's a lot of people here that's asking the question on how to be responsible for what you've given us. And I think that's okay. Even our money. I think there's a lot of people here that have questions. I hope we can pose our questions in a good and respectful way. Help us to do it in an honorable way. I'm very thankful for the country we live in and the freedom to be here tonight to express our concerns, to peacefully assemble. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for most of all, I'm thankful for my Savior, Jesus Christ. I'm thankful for the work He did on the cross, and I'm thankful that He's alive and coming again. And I know one day I'm going to have to give account to everything I say. So, keeping that in mind, I hope all my words and all the words here tonight are respectful and honoring, even to you. So I pray these things in the name of my Savior, my Lord, and my High Priest, Jesus Christ. Amen. Okay, like I said, I'm nobody special. I've got some thoughts. And I think a lot of the thoughts that I'm having, I just have a presentation. People can say what they want afterwards. You can have the mic. And if nobody says anything, there's coffee and cookies, chit-chat amongst yourself. But I think a lot of people have talked to me, and I've talked to a lot of people, and I think that I can hit some of the high points and organize a lot of the questions that a lot of people have. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to be respectful of your time. I'm going to try to be factual and bring it together. Let's see, anything else I needed to say? And obviously, the financing of the school and the claim from the school that property taxes aren't going to go up, that's just sends red flags all over. So I'm going to tell you what I kind of think about that and how I come to some of the conclusions I came to. I say there is a question of transparency, okay? I believe there's a question of transparency, and I'm going to pose some questions tonight that I do not think have been answered, or at least answered well. There's a question of speed. I think how fast this thing has come about is a question that a lot of people are going to have. So, you're welcome again to reiterate these points if you want. Go for it. I hope people talk afterwards. But, like I say, a lot of the same stuff keeps coming up. So I'll try to help make your points for you. There is a question of speed. Now, they say fairly here, one of the main things, the counter that, is we've been doing this since July. That's what I get told. We've been doing this since July. There's been a lot of meetings. I would propose that those were facility meetings, okay? Facility meetings has been happening and occurring since last July, right? Now, I think... the election got called by petition. The petitions were circulating around Christmas. The election got called after the first of the year, right? So this thing's just been official to be coming up to an election after the first of the year. The first actual meeting after the bond was called for finance was February 4th, okay? One public meeting that I'm aware of since the call for the vote. And they cannot tell me about transparency and openness when they have only had one meeting since they decided to vote. There's been one meeting, and it was on finance. Here's what my point is. They can have all the meetings they want about the building. I'm not a school teacher. I understand that. I don't know about the building. They can have the building meetings, but the finance needs to be considered as well. In my opinion, and the way I look at it, the building committee did their thing. The finance committee kind of needs to pose some questions and have some questions answered. Okay? There's been one meeting, it was well attended, and I think there's a lot of people that were very underwhelmed by it. At the exact same time that the first meeting for, I'd say, us taxpayers, the finance committee meeting, at the first meeting, exactly when it was going on, they were voting at the high school. Okay? That didn't sit well with a lot of people. It doesn't sit well with me. The very only meeting, first meeting after they call the vote, and they're already taking votes at the high school when they're just explaining it to the taxpayers how the finances are going to work. That's concerning. That's not transparency. That is fast. And you can talk about the building if you want, but I don't have a lot of issues on the building. That's not my forte. Some people do. That's understandable. But they're going to say we had a lot of meetings about the building. I don't know about that. What I do know for sure is that this thing's been fast. 2 months, less than 2 months. We're going to vote in one meeting on what's the finance, and it was very underwhelming. So that's what I'm going to stick to tonight. Okay, I have a lot of friends that were on the building committee. They kind of did their thing. Now is the time for the finance committee. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, this can be the finance committee. At the first meeting for we the taxpayers, it was held less than 30 days before the general election. Actually, it was on the day, I just said, actually it was on the day that we actually started voting, the satellite polling. But it was within 30 days of the general election. That's hard to stomach. We have had no time to review the financing. The finance meeting was very underwhelming. Okay, I can explain the finance meeting for those that weren't there. Okay, cards were handed out to ask questions by. I'll speak to that. Questions were not that well answered. We went in there, it was at the middle school, and it was a tight room. Basketball was bouncing upstairs and stuff. It was hard to hear. We had an hour and 40 minutes from the finance expert, okay? And then we could not ask questions. You were supposed to pass questions in on postcards. I guess I didn't take it very well to that, and a lot of people didn't. And I think I still have my postcard here with the questions on it, okay? Yeah, this is the postcard, and you're supposed to hand it forward to everybody to be answered. Now, I call that censorship, and here's how I call it censorship. First, you hand it down the line, and anybody that wants to read it or pocket it can. Slip it out. Secondly, it goes up there and they get to decide if they want to answer it or not. I think the general consensus is everybody wanted to be able to talk to Travis Squires. Travis Squires was a very intelligent guy, and he was ready to answer questions. I felt he was guarded and shielded. Now, any testimony of Travis Squires would be absolutely thrown out in a court of law. You know why? Because no judge is going to allow a expert to stand up there and give a testimony and not be cross-examined. We didn't get to cross-examine him. He could say whatever he wanted. We didn't get to fact-check it. We didn't get to interpret it. We didn't get to jab it. No holes could be jabbed in whatever he said. He said whatever he wanted with no rebuttal, no cross-examination. A lot of people had problems with it, me included. Okay? The public comments were before he even spoke. Then he had his hour and 40 minutes. And then the excuse was, it's been an hour and 40 minutes. I'm sure you guys want to go. Go. And no, there were people, and there were smart people there that would have liked to have said something. And would have made some good points. And I'm afraid what was happening, if this isn't their intention, what it certainly felt like was that they did not want certain stuff to come out. Okay? That's a problem. That is not transparency. I don't care if you've had 500 meetings deciding to call a vote or not. Once you call a vote, you need to present what it is that you're proposing, okay? I have no idea what is really going on, and I'm going to speak to that. Tonight, I'm going to make the case to vote no. I say I'm going to vote no. Some people flip out, okay? I'm not saying that we don't need to do something. I'm saying what we've got now is not in our best interest. This thing needs to whoa up a little bit. No, my no means slow. Slow down. A no vote means kick it back to them and make them come up with a better plan and ask again or explain themselves. A no is not a no forever. And some people, well, they're already burnt. They say, I'm going to vote for no anymore permanently. Some people, they were that way before. I'm open-minded, but this is not good. I'm not just up here hating the school. I'm just telling you, the deal we got right now is not good. We're dealing with teachers here, and here's what I would say. If their own student hand in an assignment to them that was as sloppy as this proposal is being handed to us, that teacher would give them a failing grade, hand the assignment back to them, and let them redo it for extra credit. This is a sloppy assignment that we've been, and this is the question that's on everybody's mind. How can we spend $29 million without raising taxes? I tell you what, I'll give them a little secret, okay? I'll tell them, if you hadn't have even come to us with such a preposterous claim, I don't think people would be quite as mad as they are now. I mean, that's absurd. We aren't stupid. I mean, it's almost insulting that you're going to come here. If you can come up with $29 million and not raise taxes, why not do $59 million? Let's just replace every school. Obviously, this is going to affect taxes, and it's almost the height of disrespect to come and say, hey, we're going to build a new school, spend $29 million, and not raise taxes. That's what's on people's minds. That's an absurd claim. I want to look at it. Why are we in such a big hurry? I pose that question because I think there's a specific answer to that. Okay? And again, I think there's a select few. If I offend people, I hope most of the people, the teachers, the building committee, I don't target them. I think there's a select few that know exactly what's going on, and those are the people I'd like to ask questions and point these questions to. Okay? First, I'd like to explain just a little bit about school financing, okay? And I'm not condescending to you, because I have to learn this too, okay? I'm not trying to be condescending or mean. Schools are funded by taxes, okay? Property taxes are the main source of funding. SAVE is a new term. SAVE is a 1 penny sales tax. That 1 penny sales tax is collected across the state, then comes back to the school districts based on how many students they have. SAVE was implemented as a means to offset property taxes. It's supposed to provide property tax relief. Okay, property taxes was the only way. Then we have a local option sales tax. sales tax goes to 6%. Okay, then we have the save. The save it doesn't matter how much save you collect in the district. Okay, some people, they're wrong. I don't want to hurt their feelings, but it's wrong. It don't matter if we have 0 sales in this district, it doesn't hurt our save, because the penny sales tax goes to the state and they distribute it evenly across the entire state. Okay, that is the way it works. Okay, so telling people that if our sales go down, it's not good, that's not fair. It goes back. So now we have 7% sales tax. That sales tax was there, the legislature, I remember when they were debating it. It was there as a means to relieve property taxes. Okay, and what has happened is it's been used by many school districts to build with. Okay, that was not their original intent. They wanted to stop burdening property taxes, and they offer a sales tax to relieve property taxes. And instead, it's just been a slush fund. Okay? There's a couple terms here, and I think Travis threw them out. I'm going to give you my take on them. Okay? Spending authority is what the district is allowed to spend. If Bill Gates gave us $1 billion in this district, okay, our budget could not grow. You can only spend so much on each child. Okay? That's the state will not allow you to spend any more money on a child than what we're spending right now. It could go towards building, but it can't go to teacher pay, it can't go to curriculum, it can't go to anything general expenditures. That is called their spending limit, their spending authority. The school has a spending authority here. Now the solvency ratio, now a lot of people are business and farmers maybe in here. When I go and I give my financial statement to the bank, they go down there and they start looking at if it's red or black, and then they start looking at debt to asset ratio, farmers cash poor and asset rich and all that stuff. We get evaluated how healthy we are financially by our debt to asset ratio. Well, a school gets evaluated by their solvency ratio. It's used to determine this is the official term. The solvency ratio is a snapshot. It's a point-in-time measure of a percentage of revenue remaining, how much money the school's got left if they pay everything out and they close their doors on June 30th. Would they be underneath? Would they even be able to pay out? That's what solvent is. Can you pay out what you owe? Okay? They want to see a solvency ratio of 10 to 15% is what they want in a district. So what happens is some districts were not solvent, and they'd come in and they'd give their financial to the state, and then they wouldn't be able to, couldn't stay afloat. They were upside down, and it didn't look good. So the state said, okay, you need to be much healthier financially. So here's what we're going to do. And this is legal here. This is not me making this stuff up. That levy, so they told the schools, you could just charge extra, okay? So instead, you can take your budget, give it to the auditor, and then you tack on a little bit. And what you tack on is going to be called a cash reserve levy, okay? So school district cash reserve levy, some districts are authorized to levy a cash reserve to maintain or raise an amount necessary for a cash reserve for the district's general fund. The amount levied for the reserve, okay, this tells you how to do it. Basically, it's 20% of your general fund. You cannot go over 20%, okay? That is money that you can tax for absolutely no reason and put it in your pocket and turn it in the state, and you look better, okay? You're solvent. It's tax for no reason money. It's pocket money. So when a district hits that 20% levy, they cannot charge the cash reserve levy anymore, okay? If you hit your 20%, you're done. It's over. No more. The state says you can't do it anymore. A school district can, so here, I'll sum up what I just said. A school district can overcharge you on taxes, put it in their pocket to make their financial statement look better. Okay? The state will only let them build up to 20%. At 20%, they lose it. So when a district hits 20% level, they cannot charge the cash reserve levy. Okay? They have to drop it. They're no longer eligible. What does that mean for South Tama? Okay, and here's the form. I mean, you can take a picture, watch the video back, or whatever. But this is the form I'm referring to here. And this is the big form here, and that's going to be a lot of stuff. But we're going to come down here to South Tama, and we're going to go over and look. Now, this is for fiscal year 2011, okay? In 2011, South Tama had a cash reserve levy here, or that's the levy rate, of 0.839. Okay, so basically 84 cents. Total reserve in our pocket was $246,000. That's how much that's the water cash we had in our pocket. Now we can fast forward to 2019, and I couldn't find any other years, or I certainly would have. And I would have had a fancy little schmancy bar graph, and I could have bored you with that a little bit. But I couldn't find any other years, so we go from 2011 to 2019. Okay? And we can fast forward to this year, last year. Now this is the last sheet. Those are the W districts, and you can look at that if you want. I put this up here. The state average for a cash reserve levy right here is $1.30. Actually 1.3011. Okay? The median is 74 cents. The maximum is 4.77. That's not South Tama. So but some poor school district is getting charged $4.77 extra just for that cash to go in school's pocket. Okay? That's what's happening. That's what that means. Most districts, we have the median and the average. You know, the average is $1.30. The median is basically 75 cents. So you're talking this district takes an extra 75 cents, puts it in their pocket, they can remain solvent. The average $1.30 and the median is 74. Now remember, this is a cash reserve levy. It's literally overtaxing people just to put that money in their district's pocket. I mean, that's the only thing they can do, okay? The high was 4.77. That's Melcher Dallas School District. The next highest is $4.26. South Tama, $4.26 cash reserve levy, okay? That's what we're charging extra. That is overcharge. We're second highest in the state. If South Tama had some tea, I'd be dumping it in the harbor right now, you know? That's how I feel. I wouldn't do it. I'd be organizing a meeting. That's what I'd be doing, and did. But I mean, you can see. This is the page that we're on, South Tama, right here. This is all this. You're welcome to see it. I can leave it up, but I'll blow up the numbers for you. Okay, 1,541 kids. This is the maximum we can take. We took $1.5 million last year, extra, $990 per kid. That's almost $1,000 per kid extra that we were taking, and we put it in our pocket. Okay? I'll tell you how this is playing out and what this means. Okay? But you can see per kid extra cash reserve levy. Cash reserve levy rate 4.2647. Okay? We don't have a finance expert here, but they were invited, okay? They were invited, they declined. No more large meetings is what I was told, okay? Well, they were invited. We don't have a school representative here. I certainly would like for them to be here, but we don't, and that wasn't going to stop us from having a meeting. We can only speculate where that $1.5 million is or is going or is supposed to go. We don't know. You can speculate. Quite frankly, I think it's just sitting there. Now, this is something I want to point out personally. We've obviously been getting way overtaxed. We have excessive, we have $4.6 million in cash on hand. That's what we have, and I'll show you that slide. We have excessive reserve cash, but our teachers in the middle school have ceilings falling in on their heads, and they have told me that. The ceilings are falling in on the teachers' heads. The ceilings are falling in on the students' heads. Here's what I asked then. Tell me how we can be pocketing cash, sitting on a big old huge wad of cash, while ceilings fall in on our students' heads. You cannot refuse to maintain a building while you have a wad full of cash in your pocket, then complain about the lack of maintenance in the building. Here's what I mean. Property taxpayers are going to pay us extra. We take that money, put it in our pocket. Poor teachers over here, and I say that, I'm not being cynical or sarcastic. Poor teachers are over there with ceilings falling in on their head, and they look at the property taxpayers and saying, why won't you give us a school? How rude. That's absurd. We need it. Well, I know you need it, but that's not my fault, really. I know they want to act like kids are going to die if we don't give them their $29 million school. Not all of them, and I don't mean that sarcastically. Some of them are saying that, and I just say to them, why are they still there? It's going to take you 2 years to build a school. They're going to be there for 3 more years. Don't tell me kids are going to die. You know, it's good for Facebook likes, but don't tell me kids are going to die if you don't get your $29 million school. I mean, that's not even being reasonable. Okay? If that's the case, maybe they don't need to be having any kids there right now. Okay? Don't tell me kids are going to die and then leave them there for 2.5 more years. Okay? Maybe it's just fear-mongering, and that's something that's not fair to be arguing. Following pictures are what they are using to justify $29 million school. It looks to me like it's maintenance issues. Okay? I see nothing structural. There's ceilings. Okay? Ceiling tiles falling down. Okay? There's floors that need to be replaced. I think this other picture is a picture of the fire, is represented, from what I understand, of the fire here. Yes, replace floors. Yes, I understand. New tile, do some flooring. That ceiling should be replaced. I concur. Yes, replace the ceiling. But if it falls on somebody's head, it's not my fault because I don't want to do a $29 million school. It's lack of maintenance. You're sitting on $1.5 million of cash, or every year. I don't know what this was supposed to mean. This looks like a janitor's closet, and I think this is where the fire was. But I tell you what, a good electrician to go in there and slap some conduit on that, and it's not going to look like that. That does not justify, those are the pictures that are used to justify a school. That does not justify $29 million school. Now I want to look at the facilities assessment that we've been given. Their own facilities assessment said that their middle school could be redone for as little as $5.5 million. If I read it correctly, in their financing plan, they are telling us they will have $3 million in cash to put forth towards the project, okay? And it might just be $2 million that I think they have $3 million extra and they just want to put $2 million in. So I think that's why I get off of there. But you know, my lack of knowing isn't because I didn't want to know. It's just because it's so fuzzy. I can't even begin to tell.
There's $8 million coming from somewhere.
Exactly.
Because it's 28.9.
The project.
And it's 20.9. So they've got $8 million coming from somewhere in their cash.
I think, yeah, that's just it. Is it 8.9 cash, or are they?
8 million cash. Somewhere they're coming up with $8 million cash.
Yeah, that's what was said.
Because they're overtaxed.
Yeah. They have pre-raised taxes, but I'm going to make that case. So here's what, you want to know why it's in a hurry? Because the Iowa Department of Management sends this to the schools, and in 2021, you know where it's going to happen to their $4.26 tax? Boom. They get to charge nothing. The state says that's enough, South Tama. No more. You're hitting your limits. Stop overcharging the people $4.26, okay? So, that's $4.26 gone that they cannot levy, okay? Right, so 2019, $4.26 discretionary tax on us. 2021, from the Iowa Department, this is the, go look for it yourself. I don't make this stuff up. This says we are sitting on $4.6 million. Some of that's assigned. They have to pay the teacher. Basically, that's what it takes to pay the teachers for the rest of the fiscal year, which is till June. Okay, so that some of that's assigned. A lot of that's unsigned, and they said you're over your limit. No more. The state says stop. South Tama's protecting the tax, or South Tama's done. The state's protecting the taxpayers and saying the school just can't continue to up taxes forever. So they say this is what you get to do. Zero. In 2021, that $4.26 is gone, right, at this point. Now, they could obviously manipulate some stuff, but they're not going to keep it at $4.26, okay? So what do they need to do? They need to blow some cash now. And what better way to blow it? Put it in a school. And that's what's happening. They cannot keep their $4.26 up unless they blow through that wad of cash in their pocket. Okay, so what have they been doing since 2011? Our taxes have gotten up here. Taxes are as high as they possibly can be. And then they come and says, guess what? We're not going to raise your taxes any. You can't! Literally! They're as high as possibly can be already. You've maxed out your levying authority. You've pre-raised taxes.